Hello, welcome back. Episode number 20 this time. We're going to take a small break from what we've been doing, and I want to just show just a simple maybe use case. Start thinking about the fact that the patterns that we've been looking at, like map and bind and chain, are just one kind of a pattern in functional programming. And the whole other way that you can deal with patterns is with some of the predefined types that we have. So let's look at a simple maybe use case. Once again, I'm Reed Evans. You can find me on Twitter at ReedandEvans. So when you're at the application boundaries and you have to deal with things, sometimes you're forced to deal with null. And technically in JavaScript, you can always dealing with null, but specifically at the boundaries. And so what I see happen a lot, and with my code and with other people's code, is that you end up having stuff where, due to whatever framework you're dealing with or whatever else, you end up having to define stuff as null, and then it gets populated later by some framework. And so then you end up doing a lot of code, writing a lot of code that says, if this object, then call the method on this object or get the value from it or whatever else, which obviously is very, very imperative. It's not very functional. You see right here, the whole thing that we do just kind of returns undefined. Unless we actually, were to put the stuff in. So if we actually then define it to something, then we get the hello like we would like. But obviously when we've seen stuff with composition and piping and those kind of things, this if and the whole concept of this thing being null takes us completely out of that flow. So what do we want to do? Well, here's a very, very simple use case. If you ever find yourself in a case like this where you think you want to do if something, then do something else like this, just don't write this. For step one, make sure you have something that you can deal with on a maybe. So in this case, Ram to Fantasy's maybe.toMaybe function is going to take a nullable object and turn it into a maybe. In this case, object is null, so I can map over that and I've got maybe nothing. Okay, so it's nothing, which is very similar to the undefined, except that as we've seen in some of the other videos, now that we have, instead of undefined, we actually have something that we can compose over now. And if we were to actually put these back in, then we'd have maybe just a hello. So now we're back into our maybe context. We can continue composing over it. So this is kind of one of those, if you think this is what you need, maybe this is what you need. This is a much more functional way of doing it. And then regardless of, just to extend that a little bit, what if we wanted to do, we could do something like x length, we'd get maybe just 5, right? If we tried to do something similar over here with this imperative, then it wouldn't exactly work as well because it doesn't compose nicely. Or rather, it would depend on what we're doing. If object was something, then it would do something okay. If it wasn't anything else, then you're going to get undefined as not a function. Because we're within our maybe here, even if I don't have this set, if object is just null, we still just return nothing. So the fact that one of these things in the chain was perhaps not there or couldn't be parsed doesn't keep us from continuing to write and map over and compose these different things. So there you have it, simple maybe use case, really short episode today, episode 20. Hope you like it. Let me know what you think.